Now, good fine evening, fellow YouTubers. If you're wondering how do I get my wands to this point, this is one of my wands right here. I'm going to put it back up on the wand rack. All right. Now, this wand is almost done. There's like half the handle that still needs to be Mod Podged. But you can see when that Mod Podge dries, it makes the wands really shiny. This is the purple wand going in the batch, and it's halfway done. There's about that much section on the handle that needs to be podged. But yeah, that's legit shit, people. Handcrafted wands. Before I finish podging the second half of this handle, I should be mentioning that I have a stick right here, and I'm going to show you how to carve a handheld wand out of a stick, just like the one in my hands. So, but first things first, the handle on this is dry on the top. It's not moving anywhere. Now I want to finish putting Mod Podge on the rest of it, so that way this can be added to the batch. So the next batch of wands is almost done, but not quite. And you can see that half of this is complete, the other half isn't. So we're going to take our trusty Mod Podge, and we're going to coat the bottom half of the handle. Coat the bottom half of the handle and some Mod Podge. So make the bottom half of the handle seal itself very nicely. Now, Mod Podge looks a little funky when you first paint it on there, but as soon as the Mod Podge dries completely, it gives it that nice, clear, shiny coat. So all these extra steps into making a wand, I mean, if you're making it for yourself, it's really up to you. But I'm watching people make these tinfoil balls on YouTube, and I'm like, that's kind of cool. So I guess there's an appeal to watching somebody make something on YouTube. I mean, went and did some laundry, and I found my zigzag t-shirt, decided to wear it for the, decided to wear my zigzag t-shirt for the occasion. And this wand is almost done. I'm just adding the second half of the Mod Podge to the bottom half of that handle. I'll stick it in the vice clamp facing up like this so that it can continue to dry. I put just enough Mod Podge on the handle that it'll seal it, but not enough to where it's going to be dripping all over the place. So you don't need a whole lot of Mod Podge for these, to be honest, just enough to coat it. Try to work it into the crevice of your handle so that when it dries, yeah. I'll put a little bit right here at the head of the handle. Where that knot was tied. I'm going to squeeze the vice clamp so that this part gets a little bit flatter. fuck it. Let's fucking repodge the whole thing. Do a lighter coating on top. Because I already did the top, but it wouldn't hurt to do it again. I don't have to, but I'm going to, so. Okay. Beautiful. Now I'll stick this back into the vice clamp. Like that. There we go. Now let's see. We need. I'll get to that in a second. But first things first, we need. Yeah, these two things. Okay. So, in the interest of a YouTube video, I'm going to show you cool cobras how you can craft and carve your own wand. Now, why the fuck would I do this when wouldn't that hurt my business? Possibly, but there are still people who are going to want to buy it from me because, you know, having a wand made by your favorite YouTuber is kind of cool. You know, so. Scrape off the excess podge back into the container and screw that back on. And when I say these are handcrafted wands, that's no bullshit. No bullshit. So I'm going to get comfortable here, and here in a second, I'm about to take a stick, and this branch is going to be carved into a wand that will be for sale on my Etsy store. Let a beard growing back in, or goatee, if you will, right there, nice and yeah. Just got back from eating at Casper's with some friends, having a couple cups of coffee, and just bullshitting, you know. Oh, don't tell me my lighter just died on me. Damn. That's all right. I'm going to find a lighter, and we'll get to carving this into a wand. This part's going to be the handle. And up here, I'll put the point of the wand somewhere up here. So right now I got the purple wand for the batch drying on the vice clamp. The handle was just podged up, and as soon as that handle's done drying completely on that purple wand, on that second half of the handle, boom, that wand will be added to the batch. So hold on a second. I should have some source of fire. Here's the thing, YouTube. Bic lighters don't last very long, maybe 2 weeks if you're lucky. So when your lighters die out, it's good to have a collection of matches stashed up, then just in case. Smoking a pipe with old school wooden matches would be a lot more, you know. Come on, you fucking bastard. There we go. Get a nice char going. There we go. Get the pipe unclogged. Got a char light going. Tampered down. Got this big old ashtray I put the wooden matches in. You know, I stuck some cigar tobacco in my pipe, and it's not staying lit very easily. So, and the cigar tobacco is so moist. I was smoking on a cigar earlier. I took one of the roaches and broke up some of the tobacco and put it into my pipe. Which you can smoke it out of your pipe, but the thing of it is you want that cigar tobacco to dry out just a little bit before you do that. Otherwise, you try smoking wet-ass tobacco and ain't gonna, you know. Yeah, that sounded better in theory at first, and then... And of course, that's the problem with breaking up cigar tobacco and putting it into your pipe, is you get the stems from the cigar leaf stuck in your pipe, and that can also clog up your pipe. I might have a pinch of cherry left. Hold on. Let's see where. And I just got my laundry done earlier. Pretty much did laundry and hung out with friends. That's what I did today. I wasn't in an immediate hurry to get my Wi-Fi figured out on my phone so I could do vocal covers for YouTube, but I'll get that figured out eventually. But at the moment, making a video, making wands for my next batch on Etsy. And after the purple wand, I got this as it's practically almost done since it's done drying from the rest of the Mod Podge process on the handle. And really, it's just when you're making a wand for you, it really doesn't matter. It's really up to you. You're the one making it for yourself. You're the one using it. But when I'm making wands for Etsy, I want a product that people are going to say, damn, that looks authentic and it feels authentic. You know what I'm saying? I got these videos on YouTube where I'm practicing magic and demonstrating it on camera for video's sake. And then the same person doing that is also selling wands. And it's like, okay, there's my instant selling point, you know. I feel like Roger off 101 Dalmatians over here with these wooden matches. Cool. Cruella de Vil, Cruella de Vil. She doesn't scare you, no evil thing will. And the matches are not 100% reliable, but when your Bic dies on you, and it's all you got, it's better than nothing. You probably get the flavor of the tobacco more naturally through your pipe if you're smoking your tobacco with wooden matches versus using a cheap lighter. Granted, matches aren't as wind resistant as Bics, but when you're smoking your pipe with a wooden match, it's more old school and you get the flavor of tobacco. I noticed that there is a slight difference to using a wooden match versus your sulfur matches or your lighter. We ordered a small plate of fries and kind of shared it, So it was a nice experience. Got out of the apartment for a bit. Now this wand is going to be painted all black with a white tip. I mean, when the people saw the first batch, they were like, that's cool. Now I got a set system down to what each wand's going to be. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. All the colored wands have a black tip. And then one wand that's clear coated, which is the black tip. And then two wands, one that's black and white and black, you know what I'm saying? And then, of course, it leaves one wand for a crazy custom paint job. Or in this case, that one final wand in this batch is going to be this giant crystal scepter, which getting the copper wire for it's not going to be difficult, but finding quartz for it, okay, Now, how much would I charge for... Where the devil did I set it? Oh, never mind. That's going up on my wand rack. How much would I charge for a handheld wand? Like $24 down the line. $24 is pretty reasonable. Considering that most people on Etsy are taking these chopsticks, rolling them in construction paper, and using hot glue to hold them in place, which allows you to make wands faster, yes, but I'm taking an actual stick that I find and using sandpaper and a carving knife and some branch cutters to mold and shape these particular items. So, before I get into it, though, and relax, smoke some pipe tobacco, chill out with y'all for a bit, Oh, Asperger's, look what I did. No, that's just great. That's just fucking fantastic shit right there. Could be worse, at least I didn't spill my tobacco. I mean, you spill the matches, it happens. And at least it wasn't lit when I dropped it, so there you go. Silver lining, people. If I want to increase my chances of getting a girlfriend, then working on my temper would definitely help. I'm already attractive. I got big muscles. I got good genetics going for me and all that sort of thing. I'm not going to brag about my member because I don't need to. I feel like men who constantly have to brag about their size are compensating. Me, I don't feel the need to do that all the fucking time because, I'm very confident with what I got. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not here to talk about my junk. No, we're here to make a wand. And, yeah. In the midst of getting the laundry done and finishing up the purple wand, I also drank another Monster. Big old fucking can. decided to excuse me, decided to wear my zigzag t-shirt for the occasion. And while I'm waiting for that purple one to dry completely, you can start carving on the all black one with the white tip. And when they're all said and done and painted, they actually look really cool. The finished product looks really good. When I say handcrafted wands, I'm not bullshitting you, YouTube. I'm taking sandpaper, a carving knife, and shaping and molding these by hand. So, yeah, gives me something to do, keeps me out of trouble. And if I'm selling wands on Etsy and awesome fan merch on Teespring, then there you go. You know what's funny too, because earlier when I was putting my clothes in the dryer, I put the 4 quarters into the dryer, and then the fucking dryer eats one of my quarters and doesn't put the other 3 in there. I'm like, what the shit is this? What the shit is this? I'm almost like practically shrugging it off. I grab another quarter and put 4 more quarters in there. And then after it didn't take the 3 quarters, I put 4 quarters in there again. And this time it eats all 4. This time it eats all 4 like it's supposed to. Trying to figure out what I spent most of my YouTube revenue money on. Not just on good tobacco and a bottle and a pistol, but I also remember going to pawn shows and ordering a bunch of food. I kind of spaced it, but my dad's like, what the hell did you spend all your money on? And I'm like, oh, no, I didn't spend it all on tobacco and alcohol now, or that pistol. A good majority of that went to their huge pawn shows order. And to be fair, I was hungry. I kind of totally spaced it. I owed a friend of mine some money, paid them off, bought a pistol, bought a BB gun to customize, bought a bunch of ponchos. It was, yeah. But of course, I got that window open if I'm spray painting and working on wands and smoking my tobacco. I don't want the fumes of spray paint and Mod Podge, because Mod Podge doesn't really have a fumey sort of smell. Mod Podge definitely smells funky, but it doesn't give you a headache when you're working with it. But anything like spray paint and stuff like that, yeah, you definitely want to crack the window. I put just enough Mod Podge to coat that handle so it's not going to be dripping all over the place. That way I can carve out this next wand. Anything that's too thick is going to require a lot of sanding. So something like this isn't going to be too hard to sand out. But anything thicker than this would be a fucking nightmare to weave into a wand. And the handle's going to be right here. And I'm going to make a point in this right here. So we'll start off with a raw stick. This is a raw canvas, basically. Carving wands on the weekend. What's really good, YouTube? This is literally the best job for me in the world right here. I didn't expect my wands to sell out in 5 minutes flat, but there you go. Now to make this easier on the sanding, I'm gonna start off by get off of there, you fucking bastard. There we go. Yeah, that's gonna be where the tip's at, so that's fine. Tip start right there. I'm gonna angle. I'm taking these snippers and this stick and aiming it over the trash can, and I'm doing this will also get that bark off too. So it's killing two birds with one stone. So what I'm doing now is to make the sanding easier for the tip of the wand. I'm taking the snippers. Oop, a chunk of wood fell in between my chair. Not getting there. I'm taking the snippers and I'm carving or cutting the tip into the stick before I carve it. That way, when I go to sand, it's get off here. There's like a little chunk right there. And I can show you what that purple wand looks like when it's done drying, but by the time I get done carving and sanding this particular wand, that purple wand should be done drying on the Mod Podge to a point where I can set it down with the others. And when Mod Podge dries, it hardens up, and it'll harden up to a point where it won't get all over the place when you handle it. But it'll harden up before it dries clear. I've noticed that. But sometimes the stick doesn't want to cooperate. And these thicker sticks are a lot harder to cut too, so that's something you want to keep in mind. If they're too thin, you got to carve a wand. They snap really easy. If they're too thick, they generally take longer to carve out. So sometimes when you're making wands, you want a stick that's a little bit thicker. It gives you more room to work with. When I said wand making ASMR, I wasn't bullshitting YouTube. You get to watch King Cobra make wands for Etsy. So even if I haven't posted a cooking video in a hot minute, this is still entertaining to some extent. Depending on how you look at it. I guess depending on your definition of entertainment. I had about like 2 cups of coffee, and I was just like, okay, so looking right here, you can see that very tiny point at the top has been formed. Take this out of the sheath that it comes with right here. And I want to make short work of this bark. I'm carving the bark off of it before I sand it. I got a vacuum that works just fine, so I can vacuum it up tomorrow or later on in the day when it's not 12 o'clock. Even on the weekend, I try not to make a shit ton of noise. Past 10 o'clock, it's just a noise curfew type thing. You just casually sit back, relax, whittle a wand. Then we start carving it and snipping it here and there, and you start seeing it take shape. It may start off as just a basic stick when you first get it, but then take your time and the wand doesn't even have to be pointy, but I like to add a nice point to my wands. It looks more authentic, and you know. Yes. Get off of there, you bastard. Get off of there. Now I'll leave the bark on the handle. That way I have a spot where it separates. Spot separate from the fucking tip. Let's see. I'm going to cut a nice flat surface into the wand handle. I'm not going to cut too much off of it, but just enough. There we go. Let's make that flat. All right, so right now I got most of the bark off. Left some on the handle for sanding purposes. That way, that way we have a nice divider between the handle and this thing. It doesn't look like much now, but this next part is where carving the wand takes a bit more time. Now, the next thing you're going to want to do to your wand, if you're making a wand out of a stick, sandpaper. And this right here is a solid 60 grates. Really rough shit right here. This is what you want to start off with. And it's just like polishing a goddamn tinfoil ball, isn't it? When you want to get the all the scratches out and the minor imperfections, you start off with a heavier grit. And then when you polish it off and make it look nice and smooth and shiny, you end up using a lighter grit. So and if you're sanding wands indoors, then you're gonna wanna, just like when you're carving with it, do this over the trash can. And I'm gonna sit back so you can see me carve this wand, because if I sit too close to the camera and start sanding wands, it's not gonna look right. I'm just saying, perverted jokes aside. You literally take the sandpaper and wrap it around the wand portion. Apply just a little bit of elbow grease and sand it. This is way too thick to be a wand. This looks phallic, and to make it look less phallic and more wand-like, it's going to require a little bit of sanding. And once I got it to a point where it's smoothed out, I'll take that sandpaper and I'm going to squeeze it to the tip, pinch it in the tip just like that. This is going to help me shape the tip of the wand. twist, and pinch. And the first thing I'm going to do is make those cuts that I made with the snippers really smooth with the sandpaper to form it. So I pinch it and twist. I mean, I've been making wands for a number of years now. Oh, it's got a hole in it right there. That can't happen, so be careful when you're sanding. Oh, look at that. That's a nicely formed point. I'm gonna do the same thing. Now the point's formed. I want to do the same thing that I did before, but on a much larger scale. And to make that point more defined, I want to pinch it further down just like that. Make a cone shape with the sandpaper, just like that. And right now you can start to see this gorgeous wand take shape. I mean, the handle right here, I haven't started the handle yet, but I'll get to that as soon as I get done getting this to a more proper thickness. If you're following along at home, watching the video live, that's cool. And yeah, it takes a lot of sanding and this and that. But after a while, you can start to see your wand take shape. Like sanding and painting and waiting for it to dry are the most tedious parts about making these. Set that right there to the side. Got a fresh piece. And a pro tip for making your wands: utilize your supplies. Now you don't want to sand it too thin, otherwise, you know, it could snap real easily. But you don't want it too thick, otherwise it just doesn't look right. So you want a nice and I can take a break from working on the wand part just to roughly scuff the handle. There's like a lip where it's snipped right there. So I want to, make the bottom of your wand smooth. Just scratch the sandpaper across the surface on the bottom. There we go. That smoothed out the bottom of it. And you can see where the bark peeled off right here. So I'll make the handle a little bit smoother. And there we go. And just enough to make it smooth. I'm not going to carve the bark off of it. That way I have a nice divider before I paint it. There we go. That handle's smooth enough. Maybe a little bit smoother. Yeah, because there's a bump, right? Yeah, okay, so lower. And there we go. I mean, at this point, if you wanted to stop and call this a wand for yourself, you could if you wanted to. I mean, this is not perfect by any means, but it's a basic shell of a wand. But I'm going to keep sanding on it until it's a more consistent shape. A little bit more off the wand. Okay, that wand's got a nice, there we go. That wand's not too thin, not too thick. It's got a nice consistency to it. I'm going to sharpen that tip again. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. The tips sharpened very nicely. Make the handle just a little bit shorter. The handle's too long. Okay, there we go. There we go. Get the handle to a more reasonable length. It's more consistent with the wand. And after recutting that handle again, I want to sand it real quick. I got sawdust in my eyes. Fuck. I mean, the same technique works for forming the tip of the wand, only instead of pinching it like that into a cone, going like that to form the tip, you're going to do the exact opposite. Down here, you're going to just wrap it around the handle and then go like that. Yeah. Okay, that bottom's, you see, like right there where it needs to be smoothed out. That's what I want to wrap it around. That piece is pretty much used up. Yeah. It's no sanding on the handle. Try and go a little bit thinner with the wand. Not too much thinner. And there we go. Oh, there we go. That's a nice wand shape. Let's see what happens when you take your time to sand these. So sometimes when you're sanding it, you might lose your tip from sanding it. But you take that same sandpaper. There we go. And the tip's not too sharp, but it's pointy, and you can see that it looks, yeah, there we go. Like that. Like that. Make that nice and pointy. Now, sitting here and whittling a wand, it takes a few minutes. After a few minutes of just sitting here, there we go. Do a little bit more off the handle. There we go. Now that the wand, I mean, if you wanted to stop here, you could. This is basically a stick that has now been formed into a basic handheld wand. Legitly. Now I want to take a much lighter sandpaper. Yeah, this grit is much finer, not as rough. And this will make this will make the wand smooth with that sanding that I just did. Oh yeah, it's making the wood really smooth. That rougher sandpaper can shape it, but the smoother sandpaper that I have right here makes it smoother. And even smoothed up the handle too, very nice, very nice. So I found these badass hookah hoses that I want to get with my to go with my hookah when I get it one of these days. I mean, my buddy Jeremy is selling his hookah for $70, and he said he'd sell it to me because I'm like the only person that he knows that I can have it and it's not going to get fucked with, you know. But he's moving to another place here in town, and he doesn't want it to get broken in the move, so he wants to sell it to help him with the moving process for him and his wife. So this is all black hookah, and I found these black and green hookah hoses that are pretty sick. I ordered as extras for it. I used them as my main hoses. And the ones that it came with would be extras, but the handle is nice and smooth. It took literally, it took one whole piece, or one whole half piece, literally half a piece of that lighter grit just to smooth it out. All right. Now this purple one is just about done drying. That Mod Podge is dry enough where it's not going to get all over the place. It's a little bit sticky in places, but go ahead and keep that on the vice clamp while it's still drying. So the purple one's almost done drying, but this one is just beginning. So I tighten the vice clamp down on the purple one so it holds the handle in place. Yes, I can it creates a gap big enough that I can wedge the other wand into place. So now I'll turn on the light so you can see this process. just for this process. I mean, at this point, YouTube, if you wanted to just leave it like this, you'd have your basic wand. But if you wanted to make it a bit fancier, I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, keeping the wand right here on this clamp, I can now wedge it into place to where it stands up just like that. No issues. So, take our black spray paint for the handle. And the whole wand's going to be black anyway, so. Put that first coat on. You want to aim the stick into the trash can while you cover it in spray paint. That way it all drips into said trash can. So here's the first half of that painting process up close. So what I'm going to do now, set the trash can underneath here just like that. And scooch it so the paint will drip into the trash can when I wedge it into place. You might end up getting paint on your fingers from making these, but that's just part of making them. So I'm going to wedge it into place right there, just like that. Trash can right there. There we go. Make sure I get the bottom of this. There we go. And this whole wand's going to paint it black anyway, so. There might be a spot where I have it pinched where I'll have to add black paint to it. But that's all right, because when that black paint's done drying, I'll add some white paint to the tip of it. And before I add the white paint to the tip of it, I'm going to give this wand its handle. There we go. That purple wand's looking good. Yeah. Now this way I figured out a way, YouTube, to increase my wand making productivity to where I can at least have two going on the vice clamp at the same time. or at least try to. Yeah. Well, one's almost done drying completely, and the other one's just beginning. Holy shites, look at all these wooden matches I found on the floor from earlier's. Damn it. Only because it's the weekend. Oh, let's hit those up there. Actually, yeah. Where's the fucking dustpan? Yeah. Where's... Oh, here it is. Okay. So now, after all that sanding, there isn't that much on the carpet, but there's a little bit. So I'm going to take this broom and dustpan in. And sweep up all that sawdust right quick. Now, the first batch of wands that I was doing, I got it down to where I was doing one at a time. But I figured out a process to where I can increase productivity speed by making two at a time. I mean, you saw how quick that was to whittle out. It didn't take too long. You know, the biggest factor is waiting for these to dry, and they don't just dry all in one process. You got several different drying processes to make them look nice. I mean, if you were to make a wand at this point and you didn't want to paint it, you just like the natural look, you could have stopped there. But I'm selling these wands on my store, and people have come to expect a certain look now with my wands for the Etsy store and shit. So, yeah. As I'm down here chit-chatting with you while I'm sweeping up my mess, I'm not just cleaning up after myself in complete silence, because that's not the most entertaining. And because I smoke tobacco in here, it's a good idea to get that sawdust cleaned up. Even with the window open, it's just better safe than sorry. Holy shit, it already looks 1,000 times better. And you think you wouldn't get that much sawdust from just one wand, but you'd be surprised. This to make it easier on my vacuum cleaner picking it up. It could have handled it picking it up later on in the day, but I don't like running the vacuum cleaner when it's this late at night. But at the same time, I gotta fucking mess all these wood chips and shit and shavings and sawdust, and I'm like, well, there's a way around this. There's got to be. And no more than 2 at a time, otherwise the workload is, this way it's evenly distributed more, and it's not just one at a time. There we go. Look at all that sawdust I picked up. And then, of course, all that sawdust that fell in between my lap onto the chair. Shit. Fuck. Bastardizing bitch. Fucking wand fell in the trash can. You fucking piece of shit. Don't do that. Do not test me tonight. I'm not in the fucking mood. I don't want fucking sawdust all over this. No, knock your fucking shit off. Please and thank you. Nice flat black clear coating. I think I might have accidentally thrown a chi ball at it. Because when my hand passed over it, I'm like, way the fuck back here, it falls off the vice clamp. Whoops. Because I was more mad at myself for doing that, but that's alright. It's easy enough fix. Might have overreacted very slightly, but that's alright. Easy enough fix. Get the fuck in there. There we go. Get it back in place where it'll dry. Some of that paint will scrape off from where I painted it just because, that's how it is. But that's those little spots right there where it's pinched are easy enough to touch up. And of course, I got sawdust all over my pants, paint on my fingers. Nobody said making wands wasn't messy. One second, YouTube. Can't have you leaning against the purple wand. That's right. Tip on the purple wand's already black, so no worries on that. You stay right there. All right. So, while we wait for those wands to dry up, let's see any supplies that I've left behind on my desk. My snippers, my bark shaving knife. Put those back over here. Now, before I touch up the tip and the rest of that wand on the black paint job on that black wand and add the white to it at the tip, I want to add a handle to it. The handle is completely covered in black paint, so the next step I'll be doing to the black wand is when the paint's done drying, I want to show you how you can take leather and wrap it around the handle. You know what I'm saying? I'm not on any fucking Spice, dude. Fuck you. That comment got you put in timeout. Fuck Spice, you nasty motherfucker. Oh. Good evening, Jax. How are you doing? Yep, I'm making some wands for my store, and right now they're in the drying process. The purple one's almost done drying completely, to where I can just set it down with the others. But the black wand has just begun its first drying process. Because now, once that's done drying, I should be able to add leather to it. And then when the glue's done drying on the leather, and while it's drying on the leather, I should say, I can touch up the paint on the rest of the wand, let the glue and the paint dry on that one, and then polish it. But after these two wands that I'm working on right now, I'll only have like 2 more for this next batch. So, yeah. They're getting done, peeps. And of course, I got black paint all over my fingertips from making it, but that's all right. My cough sounds 10,000 times better than it did, that's for sure. A couple of days ago, it was just like horrible, and now it's gone down quite a bit. Don't have any cigarettes, but I got pipe tobacco. I'm not going to drop the match. I was just shaking it out like that. Like, calm your tits, people. Jesus. Nope. If you ask me if I got any, if you ask me if I got any recently, the answer is no. I don't honestly remember the last time I've had sex. It's been at least a couple months, but I'm not even tripping out about it right now, to be honest. None, to answer your question, Mr. Parker Jackson. Yeehaw, watching paint dry. We get to watch paint and Mod Podge dry. Oh. At least now I'm getting these wands done 2 at a time instead of 1 at a time, which makes it go a little bit faster, like I said. The fuck is that shit? Half of it broke off. Classic. Now, waiting for the wands to dry, as I said, that's the longer process of it. But once they're done drying, they look fucking beautiful. You ask anybody who owns a KOBRAJFS wand, and they'll tell you, you know, geez, if I'd known I would have sold out in like 5 minutes, I would have been doing this years ago. And not only are the wands in this batch going to look better, but the certificates of authenticity, the tickets of their certificates of authenticity. There we go. These certificates of authenticity are going to look cool too. So I got all this planned out for the next batch, and if it looks good, it's going to be consistent like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You don't know anybody that owns one. Well, anybody in chat who hops on like Exhumed Visions as one, he's probably sleeping by now, which is understandable. He or she, yeah. Here's the thing, the colors don't really represent different powers. They're just different colors. There is no black power wand. It's just a black wand. And if you want to get a hold of one, buy them as soon as you can when they hit Etsy because they sell quick. That racist comment just got you put in timeout. Well, the Etsy store should still be... I'll Google it. Google KOBRAJFS wands. KOBRAJFS wands, Etsy. I'll check that out. I got 42 people have favorited. 42 people have favorited my wand shop, and that's what I like to see. Yes. I've gotten 3 separate reviews for my wands, And each one of them has a 4-star rate, a 5-star rating. That's cool. That's what I like to see. But if you want to check out my Etsy store, I'll put the link in the chat. I can let my fans know 24 hours in advance that I got wands going up, but I'm not going up because it'll make the fun of buying them quicker, I guess. But that should be the link for my wand store on Etsy. Right now, I'm waiting for the wands that I have to continue drying. Well, here's the thing. I'll get them up for sale and listed, and then I'll make a video saying I got wands for sale. Buy them as quickly as you can. So, internet collectives like, Josh, am I allowed to buy all 10 wands? Well, I mean, if you want to spend all that money on those wands, you can. I'd be flattered, but I'd appreciate it if you give everyone a fair chance to buy a wand. I mean, at the same time, like, I get it, wanting to buy all those wands if you have the money on hand to drop just a couple $100 on that. I get that. But at the same time, it's not very fair to all the other people who might want one. So, yeah, you know, if you're a returning customer, that's always appreciated. But, you know, at the same time, you know, see, I would not tape them together into a manger staff. That wouldn't do anything. That would completely defeat the purpose of having them. Trust me, you don't want to do that. That wouldn't work like you think. That's not going to work like you think it would. It wouldn't increase anything or do anything. It would just be a clusterfuck of taped up wands, and it wouldn't. No. Mm-mm. My handheld wands go for $24 a piece. No, it would not magnify your power, Internet Collective. No, it wouldn't. Not like you think it would. You think taping all the wands together is going to magnify your power, not necessarily, no. Yeah. Yes, if you want to buy a wand for yourself, for a friend, you know, they make excellent gifts for the Harry Potter fan in your life, or if you're a cosplayer, or if you practice actual magic, or if you want something you can display as an art piece, or if you're a fan of my videos. So this has, you know, yeah. Right now, I don't personalize wands for customers. I sell them one red, one orange, one yellow, one green, one blue, one purple, one black with a white tip, one white with a black tip, one with no paint and just a black tip, and then one crazy colored wand or just one crazy custom wand in the batch. And that's how they you know, you never know, Parker Jackson. That could be true. Well, I call it a crazy wand because, like, it's the last wand in my batch. It could be crazy colored painted. I could do a duplicate. Like, I can end up painting it whatever color I want, or I could end up, you know. In this case, this would be wand number 10 in the batch that I'm working on. This is going to be the crystal scepter that I'm working on for the Etsy store. And that little strip of Mod Podge is so close to being dry. So close. I put a little too much on there now. Yeah. It'll speed up the drying process. Yeah, that speeds up the drying process. So while I'm getting those other two wands dried up, I can speed up the drying process on this one. So that last little strip of Mod Podge isn't on there. I mean, it will be on there, but it'll dry, is what I meant to say. I mean, it won't. Yeah. Oh, look at that. The little strip of Mod Podge is drying up much quicker now. I like that. That looks much better. The Mod Podge, when it dries completely, of course, as you know, dries clear. And I don't have a lighter to do this, so I'm using matches. What that's doing is this is heating up the Mod Podge. That little strip right there, it's drying it out quicker and faster. And now you can't even see it. There's some Mod Podge right here that needs to be dried more quickly. Right up here, the inside of the hole as well. So, yeah, this crystal scepter is going to be $34, and I'm going to put a quartz crystal in it and get some copper wire for it. It's going to look legit. And of course, the bigger and thicker sticks take longer to carve. There we go. So I'm going to dry the Mod Podge up on this side right here first, and then I'll attack that hole with some heat. I'll sacrifice a couple matches to get these wands completed quicker. And get in that crevice. Just a little bit of heat treatment. And also careful when doing this so I don't do anything stupid. As soon as that matches out, it goes in the ashtray. And there we go. That dried that little piece out right there nicely. There's a couple little sections of Mod Podge. Oh, wait. I had it on the wrong section. God damn it. It's all right. Yeah. Get it. Try out. There we go. That looks good. Now I got a couple of matches over here that I can use for the hole. And do 2 at a time for the hole. This is just gonna dry the Mod Podge out quicker, so this will help get this. This will help get this wand closer to getting done. There we go. Get those 3 right there. There we go. Okay, taking a look at it here. So I got the Mod Podge on it dried pretty good for the most part. However, like on the wand, it looks good. On the inside of the hole, yeah, not too shabby, not too shabby. All right. So I got the Mod Podge dried on the wand, but there's sections on the handle where it needs to be dried. And when it dries clear, long story short. But so we're going to speed up the process of drying it out just a little bit. Yeah, I'll just let it dry naturally on the handle for now. I don't want to waste all my matches doing it. But there's like a little section right there and a section right there. So if I get the heat treated right here and right here real quick, and that's good enough until I get the quartz and the copper wire and what have you for it. Heat up that Mod Podge. Over excess. There we go. Let's get in the heat treat that side right here real quick. Sometimes you got a little bit of excess Mod Podge. You can, when it gets to a point where it's dry, and you should be able to just like take it off. Yeah. Very nice. Finding a quartz crystal for this hole is not going to be as challenging. But I'm saving this one for last to finish while I get all the other ones done. But yeah, these wands are definitely coming together real nicely. This is going to be this one's going to be fun to finish. I already know, because visualizing this thing, you know. I mean, look at the handle. Just look at the fucking handle for this crystal scepter. This thing's just massive. And the Mod Podge isn't completely done drying in the hole, but that's all right. I don't care. That'll actually make it easier to see on the inside of that to the bottom of it. And this will look good when it's done, either way you shape it. What do the wands look like when they're finished? Well, kind of like that. I'm going to show you how I make the handle and everything for them. And you can see they come in different colors. These are all wands I'm selling on Etsy. speaking of wands, all right, that black one's still drying in the vice clamp for the first coat of paint. But the purple wand is dry enough on the Mod Podge that I can take it off the vice clamp now. I mean, it's a little bit sticky right there from where I had it sitting clamped in there, but that's all right. I'm gonna take that Mod Podge. It's dry enough. I can mold it like clay, and it's not gonna get too much of it's not gonna get all over my hands. I'm gonna spread it over that knot where I tied the handle. Kind of wipe off that excess. That little bit of string, you know what I'm saying? Like that bit of string where it's stuck out. I'll take that Mod Podge, I'm gonna spread it all the way around. So that way, a little bit of the string right there is nice and flat. And now it's dry enough to where I can take it off the vice clamp, and you can see how shiny that Mod Podge makes everything. Yeah. And this wand right here is just about done. And it's a little bit shorter than the other ones, but which makes it more travel size, I guess. I'm also trying to wrap the handles on my wands a little bit more tightly. So I can set this one by the window so it dries off in the cold air a lot quicker. I wanted to show that one. This one's just about done drying. I'm going to be able to add it to the collection for this next batch. A basic wand like this one is $24. And the time it takes to carve it, paint it, dry it, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you see what that Mod Podge does? It makes it nice and shiny. Gets to a point where it's dry enough, it ain't gonna come off. And then when it dries, it's all clear. Shit. And because I was painting that black one earlier, it stuck to the vice clamp, so I was able to take the purple one out and let it dry separately, so that way, you know. So then now I can focus on finishing the next one. Because after this one's done, I only got one more handheld wand to carve out for the batch after that one's done. And then when those two are done, gotta finish the crystal scepter and then list them. Oh, the scepter, yes. it's not a staff. It would be a scepter, which is a little bit smaller. Now, a staff would be something like this is a staff. It's full length, you know what I'm saying, to the floor when I stand up with it. You feel me? Scepter is a much, much, much smaller. Like this bad mama jamba is a scepter because it's not floor length, but you can hold it like, you know what I'm saying. And it's first come, first serve. So whoever gets their hands on it, it's going to be a happy camper because this is a good solid wand. That's a nice hole, and it's deep enough that half my pointer finger goes into that crystal hole. So it's deep enough for that quartz crystal to go in there. Sweet. I love watching a batch of wands come together, YouTube. And now that I figured out a way to where I could actually increase it to more than just one wand per making them, you know. Yeah. Well, they don't. Well, when you first paint them, they smell like spray paint, but when it dries, they just smell like nothing, really. Weirdest ASMR I've seen, and that's saying something. Yeah. Yeah, watching me make wands for an ASMR videos. I mean, it has its appeal. I went and shaved earlier. I wasn't too sure about the mustache, so I shaved it off again. But I got some goatee hair starting to form right here. Yeah. Ah. Big Eric Sean says, I want a wand, but I don't want my mom knowing I own one because she is anti-magic. Understandable. That brings me to my next topic. I'm going to grab some water. These so-called anti-magic. Ooh. And I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, YouTube, but there's something oddly relaxing about just sitting here and, you know, putting these fuckers through their stages to get them to where they need to be. Now, obviously, I kept the handle on the wand much wider, but the wand part's going to be a little bit thinner. Yeah. You get these fucking Christians who are like, oh, magic is evil. Okay, but let's examine your worship of Jesus for a second. You're talking about this dude Jesus, right? Who fucking rose from the dead, which sounds like necromancy. And then his blood turned to wine, you drank it, which sounds like vampirism. And then his flesh became bread and you ate him. Okay, now you're talking cannibalism. And yet Christians want to sit there and say that, oh, if you practice magic, it's evil. Yeah, that's a very common and very negative stereotype towards magic and the people who practice it. Not every person who practices magic is evil. And most people know that when you cast dark magic for good purposes, and just because the magic is dark doesn't mean it's evil. That's a misconception. Yummy. I got my cold my cold that I'm fighting off is on the back burner. It's starting to go away a little bit. I'm not as stuffed up as I was. There's a whole lot less mucus in my sinuses. And the nice thing about smoking tobacco when you got a cold is it can't help loosen the mucus in your sinuses. Also, if you ever get cold or get a flu, if you ever get a cold, I should say, cranberry juice. You take a mixture of cranberry juice mixed with orange juice, half and half, and you drink that shit up. That's packed with vitamin C and antioxidants. All the stuff you need to help you deal with your cold. So, you want a little magic potion for curing the common cold or flu. You mix orange juice with cranberry juice, half and half. And, if you want to go the extra step too, you can also eat spicy food to clear out your sinuses. If you're really, really, really stuffed up and you're having a hard time getting that mucus to delodge, sometimes eating spicy food helps clear out your sinuses a lot quicker. So eating spicy food, taking a hot shower, getting plenty of rest, drinking cranberry juice mixed with orange juice. These are simple things you can do to helping you, if you are sick with the flu or cold, get over it quicker. So it's not just an ASMR video about making wands, I'm also giving you some pro tips to, help you get over your colds a little bit more quickly. Because getting sick is never fun, but I can breathe through my nostrils clearly, very clearly. However, there's still like a little bit of mucus hanging, just a little bit of mucus hanging in my sinuses, but not a whole lot. Like it's doable at this point. My nostrils are clear enough that I can actually smell the paint coming off the next one in the batch. Yeah. Now for my next trick, I want to strike a match with one hand. How the hell are you going to do that? Don't you have to like tear them off and like pinch them? Not necessarily. Okay, that didn't work. That match broke in half. That wasn't gonna. Yeah, I'm turning the blank one off. Okay, so how would you go about taking a very basic book of punk style matches or what have you, and just striking it with one finger, one hand? One hand. Just like that. Because if you're trying to light a cigarette with one hand using one of these, like I said, when I get vocal covers, I'll give you vocal covers on YouTube when I get the Wi-Fi figured out on my phone. Because I can't trust trolls to just not be a douche and interrupt me every 5 seconds on my vocal covers with prank calls. So in order for me to have my phone on airplane mode while running YouTube on my phone, there's a couple songs I have on my iTunes that I can sing along to for the most part. Yeah. And obviously, I didn't let it affect me. I'm still making videos, you know. But it just made me rethink my game strategy a bit. So that way I can still do the vocal covers and not give them the satisfaction of being able to prank call me while I'm live on YouTube. You know. I'll definitely add that to the list of songs to do when I get that figured out. Oh, I didn't help save a friend's life last night, but Alex Anderson's birthday was on the 19th, and Alex Anderson has epilepsy, and he was having a couple of real bad seizures on his birthday, and the other Alex Anderson, also a good friend of mine, was calling me saying, "Hey, bro," and he was kind of panicking a little bit. So I talked with him on the phone. I'm like, "Well, don't panic. Just stay calm, and don't worry about it. He'll be fine. Just watch him, make sure he doesn't hit his head on anything, that sort of thing." So technically, I didn't really, I didn't say those things. That's just common sense with epileptics. But I think just talking to the other Alex when Alex Anderson was having his seizures, that might have helped a little bit because, sometimes when you're freaking out about stupid shit or panicking about stupid shit, it helps to have to hear a friend's voice. Is it just me, or is it weird that when I make my wands, I'm seeing glowing orbs of lights float near them? That's just unintentional, man. I seen that shit happen in the camera earlier, and I'm like, okay, what the shit? Now, after the black wand is done drying with that first coat of paint, I'm going to add the leather handle to it next. And then let that dry, and then finish touching up the paint on the wand, on the tip of it. And then when that's done drying a second time, add that coat of Mod Podge to the top half and the bottom half, or whichever half. It doesn't matter which half I do first, as long as it gets done. But there's a lot of drying that goes into making these, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, if you wanted to spray paint it black and then let it dry and leave it there for yourself personally, you could. But I'm taking it an extra step and giving it a leather handle. Yippers. Is it 3:06? Oh, damn. Bewitching hour. Making wands for Cobra Craft wands on the bewitching hour. Ooh. Now, this is quite interesting because even at 3 o'clock in the morning, I have like 52 people watching and 11 likes. Because people are like, yo, the dude showed me how to make wands. That's cool. Not just showing you, but also showing you the process of how I make the wands for Cobra Craft wands. It's a very tedious process because you gotta go through all these different stages. You gotta snip it, cut it, scrape the bark off, sand it, paint it. Now, if you paint it before you add the leather, it'll look better. Because if you paint it after adding the leather on the handle, you'll have like a strip where it's not painted in. Now, watching paint dry, it doesn't get much funner than this. I'm just kidding, but all jokes aside, though, YouTube. This next batch of wands is looking sick. I mean, $24 for an actual wand you can do real magic with. That's a pretty fair price, actually. I could be charging more for my wands just because you can produce real magic with my wands. I mean, I've demonstrated it on camera how many times? And this right here is a good career for me because this is working at home in the comfort of the recording studio, as I call it. That's an oddly ironic name for my apartment, the recording studio, because it's a studio apartment and I record music and videos. Haha. Play on words. But anyway. You get a variety of wands, different colors. If I made all the wands the same color, it'd be difficult to tell them apart. And people would be like, some people like the black and green ones, yes, and some of them are like, well, what about this and that? So I got a basic, very basic, 10 basic wands. Although this is the first time in Cobra Craft wand history that I'm attempting to make a crystalled wand for the batch. So I want to make sure I get a quartz crystal for that scepter that fits snug as a bug without glue. That'll guarantee it'll ship and it won't come apart, you know. I'm not going to make a video of me gluing in the crystal and this and that. There are some company secrets I keep secret because, you know, the ancient art of crafting a crystalled wand is a bit more sacred. And let me show you how to make a basic wand. That's, you know. But when you're making a crystalled wand, there's so many things that could go wrong. Carving it and gluing the crystal in there. Crystal doesn't fit. Making a crystalled wand is a lot more tedious than making a basic handheld wand. Requires just the same amount of drying time, if not more, when you include waiting for the crystal to dry. You know, if it's snug as a bug to begin with, you put glue just to make sure it seals, you know. Yeah. But I can already tell that people like this kind of video, just me making wands on camera, you know. It's got like 15 likes, 15 likes, 17 likes. There we go. I'm liking this. Hell yeah. We got 50 people watching. We got 17 likes. That's what I like to see. Even for 3 o'clock in the morning, that's actually not too bad. Normally I wouldn't stay up this late, but it's a weekend, and these wands need to get done for the Etsy store. I mean, basically after this one's done, I got like 2 more to finish. And one of those 2 is practically halfway done. So, got my hair, and I put it in a braid earlier. Look at that shit. Booyaka, booyaka. Some people are saying make a rap album. Yeah. That's something to consider. But I just posted Trails of the Abyss a couple weeks ago, so don't want to burn out my creative juices now. You little bastard. There we go. So using matches to smoke your tobacco instead of a lighter, it definitely adds a different taste to it. It doesn't taste bad by any means. I mean, this is literally watching the wand dry in real time. In a matter of, 2 hours, I finished one wand I was working on for the batch and carved and started another wand. Literally finished one wand and carved and started another wand within like 2 hours. So it doesn't take too long to whittle out the smaller ones because, it's less time, But, with the Renaissance Fair coming up this summer, I can make a killer living and some decent profit selling these at the. If I took a break from selling KINGCOBRAJFS wands on the Etsy store right around the time of the Renaissance Fair, so I could sell them locally, it'd be cool to have like a little booth set up and I sit around in my green cloak. Greetings, mystical travelers. Come one, come all. Your magical quest awaits. With KINGCOBRAJFS wands, the finest wands in all of Middle Earth. Yes, we have crystal wands, scepters, and for the crystal wand variety, I have a couple scepters and a couple of staves for sale. Staves would be like $44. Staves are $44. Scepters are $34. Wands, like the one I'm working on, are $24. That's a fair price point. But now getting wood for staves isn't that difficult if you don't want to look for a stick. You can always buy one of those long ass hiking sticks from a sports store and level it and drill a hole out for a crystal and mount it at the top. Pretty straightforward. It's already cut out and smoothed, so that takes a little bit of time out of making it, and you're still crafting a staff with it. But if you're taking a hiking cane from a sports store made out of wood and drilling a hole in the top for a crystal, you're taking some of the work of making a staff and making it a little less time consuming. But yes, if you get a stick thick enough, you can make a staff with it. And whittling a wooden staff, oh, it takes ages. You think finishing, and that was just finishing one, starting another one. I'm saying? Like whittling a staff out of actual wood takes a lot longer. So, and staff wood is finding wand wood for the basic handhelds is always easy because it doesn't take much wood to make them. But finding uh, wood for the scepters and the staves is going to be a little bit more tricky. So quite often, if I'm going to be selling staves on KOBRAJFS wands, they're going to be made from hiking canes just because it's easier and takes less time. You know, if I were to whittle a staff out of an actual thick ass branch, like old school, and just sit here and you know what I'm saying? I'll be charging a lot more. But I can get away with charging $44 for a crystal staff if I'm making it out of a hiking cane. The simple fact that those hiking canes are probably like what? If I don't know. I'd have to go to a sports store and check them out and see how much they are. Get a price point figured out. Because those hiking canes aren't too expensive. I might buy a bunch of those hiking sticks in bulk so I can take them back to my apartment. And then I make like a couple stabs. Sell them on Etsy. But I may end up having to charge more for the stabs because shipping them is going to be extremely expensive. Having a custom box to ship a long ass fucking staff. And they charge more for longer packages. Well, I want to give a shout out to a bow-tied guitarist. I'm sorry to hear about your loss, bro. A bow-tied guitarist says, God, I miss my girlfriend. I wish she never committed suicide. I feel like it's my fault. And this is exactly my point. Fuck suicide. I'm truly sorry to hear about your loss, bro. She obviously meant a lot to you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be feeling so shitty if you didn't care about her. You know what I'm saying? You miss her, and you know what I'm saying? If I could have talked to her and talked her out of it, I would have. It's weird, when you do a live video just making wands, talking about random things. You get like a random fan. You get a random fan reaching out to you, and you think, oh, you have Asperger's and cataracts. That does suck, but it could always be worse. I wouldn't say you and me were two completely different people. Again, a bow tie guitarist. I'm sorry for your loss. But saying, God, I'm you. No, you're nothing like me. You're going through a rough patch in your life. That doesn't mean you're anything like me. I haven't had a solid girlfriend in a couple of months, and yeah, it sucks, but I didn't lose my girlfriend due to suicide. Unfortunately, a bunch of trolls bullied her into breaking up with me, and her psychotic ex was harassing her. And, you know, losing a girlfriend to online bullying or suicide or anything like that is never fun. But I would take it with a grain of salt. And I feel like right now that the girlfriend that belonged to a bow-tied guitarist, she's watching over you, bro. That's what I'm feeling like right now. I feel like she's going to be a guardian angel of sorts for you in your time of depression. So she watches over you and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Aw. One of my female fans reached out. She says, I still love you. Aw. See, even if I don't have a girlfriend, no big deal. I still got a bunch of love and support from a ton of female fans. So that's better than nothing. Well, not like that. No, when I said a guardian angel for that person, not like in a sense like Cobra Angel. No, that's what I call my female fans. No, it's something completely different. Do I like voodoo? Yes, I have a voodoo doll on my what you would call um uh altar. Hmm. Did y'all see that bright white orb floating right there earlier? That's kind of weird because I was talking about a bow tie guitarist's situation, and right when I brought up his girlfriend, that this white orb just fucking appeared right on camera, and I'm like, huh. There's a couple of reasons why I won't do it. One, I promised homeboy Scotty I wouldn't commit suicide, just like he promised me he wouldn't do it. And two, the lead singer of Cradle of Filth, Danny Filth himself, said you shouldn't commit suicide. You'll never know what you'll miss out on in life. A warm winter's day or eating a hot dog. That's a quote from a podcast he was in. And three, as a Linkin Park fan, the way Chester's suicide affected me and millions of others who listen to Linkin Park. Then that's just it. You know, the way his suicide affected all the people that cared about him. That's how, and if you commit suicide, basically, what I'm saying is all that care that people felt for Chester around the world is condensed into a much, much smaller circle. And that smaller circle is the people that care about you. So it's not worth it, you know. Like if I'm frustrated with society or any bullshit that goes on in my life, it's not worth murdering or committing suicide. Fuck that shit. Like, what the fuck is wrong with millennials posting about their suicide or their murder plans on social media, going on Instagram and YouTube and snorting condoms and eating Tide Pods? Like, has the world gone mad? Like, I'm at a loss for words with some of the shit I've seen in the last couple of weeks. Like, what the fuck is this shit? But matches suck for trying to smoke a pipe sometimes, because your tobacco gets too low, and you really need a fucking lighter to smoke it. Or just take it and stir it, and raise it up a bit. I might have a spare lighter in my drawer. Let me check real quick. You think that wand's dry enough to put a handle on it yet? It's still a little bit sticky. I mean, it's dry enough where it's not coming off my hand onto my hands too much, but yeah, it's still drying. Playboy lighter's dead. This is some crazy shit. I've had this lighter for ages, and there's practically no fluid in it. Yet, explain this. And if your pipe gets clogged, you can use a straightened out bobby pin or paper clip and scoop it out, if it's really clogged. Because sometimes you go to unscrew your pipe and you run a pipe cleaner through there and the pipe cleaner just ain't budging. That's when you want to get something with more strength and kind of, I'm going to set the pipe bowl down for a second. That's when you can take your paper clip or your bobby pin. I'm going to push this bobby pin against the arm of my chair so that it forces through the... There we go. There we go. Now we're cooking good looking. Sweetness. Yeah, that unclogged that very nicely. So here's a pro tip. Instead of, this is really selective to the pipe smoker in question, but if you smoke a tobacco pipe and you're constantly, hold on a second. There we go. If you smoke a tobacco pipe and you're constantly burning through pipe cleaners, why not carry like a paper clip or a bobby pin with you so that if your pipe does clog up, because here's the thing, you get like one use out of a pipe cleaner. One. As soon as it's used up, you throw it away. You replace it with a new one. Where if you use like a bobby pin or a paper clip, you can reuse your so-called pipe cleaner over and over and over and over again. And if you misplace your paper clip or your bobby pin, they're pretty easy to replace. See what I'm saying? So that's a little pipe smokers or tobacco pipe smoker life hack. Yeah. And then of course, all that gunk from your tobacco and all the tar from the tobacco collects onto the bobby pin. And here's the thing, going back to a bow tie guitarist. If you found your other girlfriend, I'm sure you'll find another one, dude, you know. That's understandable. That's very understandable. You can't really smoke wands. You can try them. Oh yeah, there we go. Much better. Honestly, I don't even want to answer that. And trust me, you don't want to know. I can take my bag of pipe tobacco and all those cigar butts that I have. I can squeeze the tobacco out of those cigar butts and literally put them in the same bag as my pipe tobacco. Of course, the cigar itself is that's wrapped in this tobacco. So it's a great way to clean your ashtray and not wasting tobacco. Because that cigar tobacco is pretty moist. That's no surprise, really. This one's a little bit drier. Yeah, it's just like squeezing cigarette butts into your bag. You want some tobacco for your pipe? You want to clear out your ashtray? Kill two birds with one stone. I'll tell you right now, it'll create some harsh-ass tobacco to smoke out of your pipe, but it'll get you by in a pinch. And it's better than nothing. And there's several songs I plan on doing for the vocal cover video. That'll happen when it happens. But while we're waiting for the vocal covers and me getting that shit figured out and what have you, That's a nice healthy amount of tobacco right there. Yeah, buddy. All that after digging for just a little bit. Oh, look at tear that stem off. Tobacco is a sacred plant. Why waste it? You gotta do something while I'm waiting for these wands to dry and process. There we go. Oh, wait. Force a habit. Trash cans over here. I could be that one guy that's just like, well, if you stayed single, you'd be a lot more lonely, but you'd be less vulnerable. You know, nobody can predict when a significant other is just going to do something like that. No one can predict how long that relationship lasts. And unfortunately, life is very unpredictable, YouTube. It is truly unfortunate that relationships end like that, you know. Oof. I was having a pretty good night, and then I found out, man, that's the kind of shit that just makes me hate the fact that I bitch about being single sometimes. Like, that just makes me feel like an ass for bitching about being single. Like, legitly. Fuck. Makes me appreciate being single, to be honest. In its own sick, twisted way, I guess. No. I ask that the recently deceased girlfriend of a bow tie guitarist watch over him, protect him against any negative or evil spirits, help him find closure, comfort, and a new companion. So mote it be in the witch's circle. I like to use my magic to help people when I can. And I mean, if it's legit shit, you know what I'm saying, then it's just like, God damn, dude, that is some complete fuckery. Alex Anderson doesn't talk to his ex-wife. No, she's pregnant with someone else's kid. And it's none of my concern because I'm not going to discuss other people's relationships on my channel because it's not your business. It's not my business, you know. Well, thank you. It's Elf eyeliner. It was sent to me by a fan. That is some wild shit. How the fuck is this lighter not even dead? There's like no fluid in here. And if I sit it down, let it cool off for a bit, it lights. But trying to smoke tobacco with a dead lighter, it don't work. 1 second. Yeah, I guess I can deal with matches for a couple of days until I get some money to buy a lighter. That's fine. That's called making the best of a shitty situation, YouTube. All right, Joey D. Clue, thank you for tuning in to this one, making ASMR and watching. You have a good night. Enjoy your sleep. I mean, if I want to make some money quickly, the wands are definitely a great way to do that. I'd much rather sell the wands as a whole batch than have the batch partially sold before the rest of it's completed. I'm particular about that sort of thing. That's fucking awesome. A fan commented, Nif's knife wielder. That's an interesting YouTube username. But person commented, local women want your face on their ass. Yeah. Yeah. How many Cobra yoga pants have I sold? Yoga pants / I wouldn't call those yoga pants. I'd call those, I think they're called leggings, but same fucking thing, right? That's a good question, actually. Let's take a look. I have no control over the the actual pricing of any of it, just on the design. Oh, sweet. I sold one. Hell yeah. That's what's up. Wait, how come I only have 4 products? Where's my Cobra's Care t-shirt? What happened to it? I sold like 4 Trails of the Abyss pillows, 1 pair of Sexy Cobra Angel leggings. That's what's up. Hold on. Let me check my Gmail. Let's see. Oh, here's an email from Teespring. Click on that. Are you fucking kidding me? Your campaign was flagged as inappropriate, therefore we removed it. What? Inappropriate or fake? What? Oh, lame. So apparently you can flag Teespring accounts and the merchandise they're selling if the account's fake or the clothing in question is inappropriate. So if people don't flag merchandise and someone makes something highly inappropriate through Teespring, it may not always be caught right away. How the fuck was it? I don't know, man. Teespring is picky about this shit. That really gripes my gears. So like somehow they archived it or some shit because like it wasn't, somehow they thought like it was flagged because they thought one of the images wasn't approved to be used on Teespring or some shit like that. I'm trying to figure that shit out. And it's irritating because sometimes when you make a t-shirt on Teespring, if they see that it has pictures on it, they might be like, oh, okay, you know. And I didn't use any online images, just clip art, so I don't know why. I used the art that Teespring offered, so I don't know why. The sudden error in that, oh, that is truly frustrating. Oh, sweet. Exhumed Visions just sent me $5 on PayPal. That's what's up. Thank you for that. Well, God damn it, that blows. Silver lining, I guess, is that the 4 products I have, 2 of them are selling. The Sexy Cobra Angel leggings for my female fans. I can't believe someone actually bought a pair. That's cool as fuck. Hell yeah. And then like 4 people ordered Trails of the Abyss pillows. Damn. That's most definitely what's up. I like that. So even though there was a minor glitch with Teespring on one of my products, which sucks, like at this point I'm just like, wow. Add that to the list of bullshit. Yeah, I'm not gonna really trip out about it too much, but like at the same time, like I had my phone break, I got a Facebook ban, I'm fighting off a cold, dealing with asshole trolls prank calling me while I'm trying to do vocal covers, and having one of my campaigns removed because of a false flagging or some shit. I tried to do a t-shirt for charity, and it got taken down for some bullshit. Speaking of which, I've been trying to use my magic to make marijuana legal all over the United States of America. And, impressive shit, no? Half the country is medical, recreational, or a combination of the two. Huh. But $58 in profit, nice. Just from selling 4 pillows and 1 pair of leggings. No, I had a fan in chat. They're like, so has anyone bought a pair of the sexy Cobra Angel leggings you designed? I went to go check it, and I'm like, yeah, they did. Cool. Right on. Well, I hope whoever bought those leggings, yoga pants, whatever the fuck you want to call them, hopefully they're happy with them. And yeah. The Cobra Craft wand shirts aren't really selling, to be honest. Like the Trails of the Abyss pillow and the Sexy Cobra Angel leggings, those are selling. I want to archive the wand shirt. I'm still keeping the King Cobra merch shirt because that's OG original sick shit. Oh shit. Teespring didn't have the option they used to have the option where you could do campaigns for charity and the money would automatically be donated to charity, but they took that option down. So I was just raising it, and then the fucking false flag, man. Ooh, man. That's some bull honky. That's kind of like when I got falsely flagged on Facebook the other day. Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. It sucks, but at least I got people who are had 4 campaigns and like the Cobra Craft wand shirts weren't even selling. So it's like, but I'm actually surprised someone bought a pair of those leggings. Damn. Righteous. Even though I'm not on Facebook for the moment being, because of the ban, if you're friends with me on Facebook and you buy my merchandise and you want to take a picture of yourself wearing the merchandise, advertising it, and you want to post it on my timeline, by all means, you want to post it on your Instagram or on your Twitter, by all means, do it. I'm not going to have some paid professional model for my merchandise. In fact, the way I see it, the best people to model my merchandise are the awesome fans who buy it. So that's most definitely what's up. Yeah. I didn't think anybody would actually buy a pair of those sexy Cobra Angel leggings, but holy shit, that's cool. Hell yeah. Righteous. Those leggings would make the perfect gift for the female in your life who's a hardcore King Cobra fan. That is most definitely for sure. No, I'm assuming because they're leggings, they're going to be stretchy. So even though it's like one size, it should fit most of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Even though it doesn't have a size chart. Again, if they don't offer a size chart on certain things and they make it way too priced, I'm not in control of that. But even though some of the products are overpriced, in my opinion, the fact that Teespring gives me a platform to create merchandise is still cool. And it's even cooler that people are purchasing them. Like 10 people bought Trails of the Abyss pillows when they first came out. And then by the time those shipped, 4 more people bought some. Like, holy shit. I'm sitting here like one day until the next print, and 4 people have already bought Trails of the Abyss pillows. Or at least 4 purchases. 4. So either one person ordered 4 pillows, or 4 different people ordered, or maybe 2 different people each ordered a pair for their sofas, and maybe 3 ordered one order. You know, you never know. That's still cool. So despite the fucking bullshit fiasco I had with someone abusing Teespring to fuck with me and my friend Alex, at least I'm trying to make Teespring some money, because Alex's lawyer gets a hold of Google. Google gets a hold of Teespring. Yeah, some shit's gonna fly. Teespring's got to have a policy in place that says you want to put pictures of boobies and dicks and shit like that on t-shirts, use the graphics that Teespring offers. Don't put personal pics on a t-shirt unless you're ordering it for yourself. Like, if Teespring wants to make money doing that kind of thing, it's freedom of creation. I can respect that. But don't make it to where you can do it in like a mass bulk. Don't, like, make it to where campaigns can't be. There should be a rule on Teespring that says, okay, no personal nudity pics for campaigns. You want to make a shirt or order like 1 or 2, okay. That shouldn't even be allowed on Teespring, to be honest. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? If I pulled a picture of a sexy ass chick from the internet that was butt ass naked and put her on the front of a fucking pillow or a t-shirt, you know, it'd still be a way cooler use of Teespring. You can't tell me that if you made a pillow with some hot ass naked chick on the front, you know what I'm saying? You know, it was a tasteful nude. It wasn't like, you know, raunchy as fuck. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing: if the image is copyrighted, Teespring isn't allowed to do that. And the photos Alex was taking for a company for this other thing he's doing, I'm not going to go into details, it's irrelevant, are copyrighted through his profile and that company's deal. So by hacking into Alex's account, that person not only violated his privacy, cyberbullied and sexually harassed both him and me at the same time, got Alex fired from his job because someone picking up an animal that he was helping take care of came in wearing that shirt. Oh, yeah. Like, this troll fucked with me hard. And I had no idea of knowing what the fuck was going to be in it. So that kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Although I haven't sold a King Cobra merch t-shirt in ages, and it's just taking up space. Right now, my top two hot sellers on my Teespring are my Trails of the Abyss pillows and the Sexy Cobra Angel leggings. So I got two campaigns going on. Like, I kind of feel bad that it did that. Like, why the fuck would Teespring do that? It's that kind of thing's happened to me before YouTube. I've had my accounts, or not my accounts, but my campaigns were taken down because Teespring thought that the images I used were not approved or whatever, you know. I know for a fact that the images I used to make the pillow and the leggings are my design, my logo, what have you, so they can't be like, oh, Lottie Don, if they try pulling some shit like that, I'm gonna be like, wait a second. I hate when I just dislike it when social media does crap like this. I understand there's guidelines and what have you, but when you're trying to abide by the guidelines of social media has in place for certain websites and they pull crap like that. Last time I checked it, before I checked it just now, one person had ordered it. I was like, sweet. Sweet. And then, which gave me some hope. I'm like, oh, cool. This campaign is gonna, you know. And then, dude, this is some bull honky. All I can do at this point, load up some cigar tobacco and it's the thought that counts, YouTube. The fact that I tried, you know. Hopefully after this, social media quits fucking with me a little bit, because this is so frustrating. Like, this is the epitome of some cockamamie bullshit. Like, this is the kind of crap I can't even get pissed off about, because I want to, but it's a little early in the morning for that. So I'm just like, God damn it, is what I say to that. You know, I'm trying to work on my temper. I am. It's not easy, but like I say, when you're trying to do certain things, life likes to test you. And getting one of my campaigns taken down for false accusations, let alone the very same campaign I was trying to do for charity, that really grinds my gears, man. which means I made like $8 fucking selling just one t-shirt before it was taken down due to some bullshit. I could take like half the proceeds I make from the campaigns and donate that way. You know, it's because that fucking t-shirt campaign was deleted by Teespring by accident, but it is what it is. Yeah, buddy. Now, once that paint's dry enough, I should be able to attach a handle to it. So I'm actually super stoked that people are ordering the Teespring products, because that's how it's done, people. Thank you for the $20 or the $2 donation right there. Yeah. With some museum privilege donated $2. Thank you for that. Shout out to the web store Holland US. Are my wands magical? Yes, they are. They can be, anyway, if they're used properly. That fucking bites. All that bullshit with Teespring, but it is what it is. Oh, was this supposed to be a troll? Yeah, I didn't realize I wasn't. Yeah. People want to be a troll and donate money. That's cool. You might ask me to shout out something stupid on YouTube like that, but when you give me the money to do it, I'm not going to pronounce it right on purpose. When I get my Bluetooth figured out on my phone, I'll be able to do vocal covers off my phone without being prank called. And then I can rub it in these trolls' faces like, yeah, do it now, motherfucker. And when you're prank calling someone every 5 seconds when they're trying to do a video for YouTube, that just shows you're jealous of their singing voice. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so fucking obvious, too. It's like, goddamn. Here's somebody who has the courage to put themselves out there and sing for the entire goddamn internet to judge them. And that takes a kind of nerve to put yourself out there. Instead of going, maybe I should do something else with my life. Nope. They're obsessively troll me. I tend to think your haters are your biggest fans. You know, and maybe if you have a legit reason for hating someone, that's one thing. But Because hating Justin Bieber is reasonable. He's a douchebag. But hating on somebody because they have autism, that's stupid. That was a little harsh, but hey, spitting some venom. Caitlyn Jenner looked at Justin Bieber and said, I wished I wouldn't have gotten a sex change so I can show you how to be a real man. Oh, 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 bro, that was savage. Oh no, the PC people would be so pissed at that. The PC assholes would be like, oh no, he didn't just say what I think he did he? I'm giving you things to joke about with you and your friends inside your friend's living room. The only difference is So if Justin Bieber's pestering you in public, just chuck water bottles at him, he'll go away. Was that too far? No, the last one went a little too far. No shit's given. How does that make any sense? Because when Justin Bieber was at a concert, some obnoxious fan was chucking water bottles up on stage and spilling water on stage. And instead of making the fan leave the concert and continue playing for the people who paid him money, he's like, no, fuck this, I quit. And so he storms off the fucking stage like a little fucking drama queen, fucking diva, like some prima donna diva. And it's like, well, that's fucking nice. That's real fucking nice. If that would have been my concert, I would have had that fucking fan removed and then continued playing because people came to see me perform. I would have punched the fan in the face and then had them escorted out the fucking concert. That's how I would have fucking handled it. But no, he was just, to explain the second joke. And then he cancels a meet and greet with fans because he's too tired. Like, motherfucker, are you serious? These people are the reason why you have all the nice things you have. So how about showing a little bit more fucking gratitude, huh? I can't stand him or his music, and I'm going to tell him like it is. shitty mainstream music like that blows major donkey dick. I mean, if Jim Carrey wants to make a stink about vaccinations, like this is what happens to your kids when they're not vaccinated. They turn out like this douchebag. Okay, that was a crack at people who think that vaccinations cause autism. That's the stupidest bullshit I've ever fucking heard. Like the first time I heard that, I was like, okay, wait, what? Say what? Johnny Test, say what? You're telling me that, okay, these are the same fucking idiots who think the earth is flat. Like, okay, wait, you're telling me you think vaccinations cause autism and you think the earth is flat. You're a special kind of stupid, aren't you? The reason why the earth appears flat is because of human perception and gravity. The earth is a giant ball that rotates in a circle, and that circle that it rotates an even bigger circle around the sun in gravitational orbit. Because of that circle, it's constantly moving like a treadmill, so to speak, like a hamster on a treadmill, so to speak. So even though it's staying in place, it's constantly moving. So to the human's perception, the earth appears flat when in actuality, it's a ball, a rock, a sphere. This is cigar butt tobacco. It's got a nice little bite to it. Oh, look at that. That paint is dry enough. I can add the handle to it. Now, when we last put the wand on the vice clamp, I just put a bunch of black paint on it to start it off. And that paint's dry enough that it's a little bit sticky, but it's not coming off on my hands for the most part. So now I can... Now, how do you get the handle on the wand? I'll show you enough. I'll show you it's easy enough. I need the leather string. So we need this. Now, when you're gluing quartz crystals to the insides of your wand or gluing a handle to your wand, you want to use Gorilla Glue that dries clear. This is the leather string that I used to form the handle. Unravel it just a little bit. All right, so now we're gonna add the handle to it. I want to vice clamp the handle when I'm done tying it on the glue spot so that way it dries in place. And then while it does that, while the handle dries on the glue, I'm also going to touch up the rest of it here. Yes, that's. I'm going to take your leather string and I want to make a loop with it right about there. And to start off, the handle, tie a knot onto the stick with that string. Just like that. I want to wrap the string around it now so that this piece gets pushed down. That extra excess right there. Wrap it around like that. Hold that in place. And now that I got that tied right there for the handle, now I'm going to begin the process of wrapping it. And if you couldn't see the wand take shape before I started getting to this process, now you can definitely see it start to form. Okay, there's the handle for it. And to seal the handle and tie it off, you do the same thing you did to start it. Kind of stretch out the fabric a little bit. Or this, did I say fabric? I meant string. I'll take that loop, just like we did before. I'm going to pull that through. Pull that nice and tight on that knot once more. Yeah, there we go. Get that. Kind of pull that knot and repeat the process if needed. See, that can happen sometimes. Son of a bitch, the handle's coming unwound. Cheap ass motherfucker. Okay, hold on a second. Here we go, I fixed that issue. That can happen sometimes when you're making these, so you want to watch that. But once you got the handle wrapped, you want to repeat the process of what you did to tie it. Oh, come on, you fucking bastard. Yeah, I did it again, son of a bitch. Okay, hold on a second. And usually it wraps pretty easily the first time around. but sometimes it likes to be stubborn. So you gotta be patient. Sometimes it's not gonna come together very easily. No, it's wrapping it too high on the handle. Right about there. Get on there, you fucking. I twisted that loop around the stick there. Okay. Push that knot down tight, tight. Oh, damn it, I don't like it coming unwound like that. Every handle I've made for this new batch, you know what I'm saying, that they look good. So I don't know why this one's giving me so much shit. But that's all right. This is an easy enough fix. If I have to, I'll unwrap the whole fucking thing and redo it. All right, start over from this point. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Sometimes you don't really need a whole lot of strength for the handle, but enough to make it feel consistent when being handled. I'll hold that handle in place while I pull that knot tight. Let's try this again. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Look at that, people. Look at that. As soon as I pull the knot tight, look at that. Now the handle's on there. Glorious. I'm gonna pinch that knot where it sits. There we go. And here's how this goes down. If I take some Gorilla Glue and I glue down that little bit right there, right on top of the stick, just like that, so it'll sit in the vice clamp, just like that, to glue the handle in place. Oh, no, 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 no. What's that right there? No, 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 no. No coming unraveled. Tuck that loop in onto itself. Okay. Put a little bit of glue on top of that knot right there where I just tied it, and then squeeze the vice clamp onto it after I put the glue on there. That handle's now nice and tight. And to make sure that handle doesn't come off, I'm going to take some of this Gorilla Glue and I'm going to put a dab of glue on those knots that we just tied. Right. Yeah, there we go. Now that I have the wand securely in place by the handle where I put that glue, I literally put the vice clamp and I clamped it right where I put the glue so that it would squeeze it into place while it dried. So now I'm going to add some more paint to the wand. And this is the kind of stuff I do for Facebook Live all the time. And then Facebook wanted to be a dick fart about shit. I know that can's not empty. The nozzle's not on right. Yeah. Where the fuck did the white paint go? I just had it. Oh, it's in my hands. Wow. There we go. A little bit of excess paint on the tip will make it drip down and it'll create a cool looking effect on the paint job. Yeah, man. That's enough of that. A little too much of that, actually. Where's the black paint? I just had it in my fucking hands. A little too much white. I only need the tip of that to be white. But that's an easy enough fix. sure that there we go. That'll look cool when it's done drying. Where's that other? Now, while I wait for that one to dry on the paint and the handle for the glue, now as soon as that's done drying completely, YouTube, I'll be able to start adding the Mod Podge to it as soon as that's done drying. This is a copper sword handle. This is a blade and the piece that goes right in there. Of course, nothing I have. I tried drilling out this with a drill bit and it made an indentation, but I wouldn't recommend doing that. You could break your drill bits doing that. They make special drills for this kind of thing. There we go. I literally examine the wand from every angle when I paint it just to make sure that it all gets done properly. And it will take a couple hours to dry processes, but and of course once it's done drying on the paint, you pretty much saw how to, I could show you how to put the Mod Podge on a wand as well, but you know, long ass fucking stream if I do that. Now, if I wait for the wand to dry, and then once that wand's done drying, you take a sponge brush, dip it in your Mod Podge, and you coat the wand half, let it dry, flip it over, coat the handle, let it dry, you know. In fact, to save a couple steps here, hold on. As an example, once the wand is done drying on the paint, you'll take your wand and, of course, your Mod Podge, dip your sponge brush in there, and then you paint the Mod Podge all over the wand. Let it dry here. And as soon as the Mod Podge dries here, you flip it over, and then you do the handle. And this is that purple wand from earlier. This is that purple wand from earlier going in the batch. And remember when it was wet enough that I could just take it and kind of mold it a little bit to the thing? Well, now it's dry enough to where it's starting to harden up and become see-through. I've been sitting this wand by the window the whole time, so that way the cold air blowing in on it makes it dry just as fast as using the fire. Yeah. Look how tightly I wrapped that handle. So I'm going to leave this by the window to continue drying. This purple wand is practically almost dry enough that I can sit it with the other collection. Nice and solid. And I got big ass hands, but even these handles, you know. So once the paint's done drying, then you just take, like I said, the Mod Podge, dip it, you know. And the Mod Podge is going to look white when you first paint it on there, but as soon as the Mod Podge dries, you can see it makes your wands shiny. So instead of waiting in lifetime to show you how to make or finish the wand, you know what I'm saying? I can show you the next step without having to wait. I can show you the next step on making a wand without having to wait for that one to get done drying on the paint job. And purple's not really my color, but that's a good looking wand. Now I like to examine my wands before yeah, it'll do nicely. I wouldn't have made it too much thinner than this, honestly, because this is thick enough to where it's not going to snap, but thin enough to where it doesn't look like weird or anything, but you can actually tell what it is when you hold it. Like, legitly, it looks like a wand, like a smaller wand. Yeah. Now wrapping, that's something cool too, as I discovered wrapping the leather string certain ways creates different textures on the handles. I like wrapping them a little bit tighter on the handles. I'm gonna start doing that with my wands from now on, because that produced a quality handle. That's cool looking. I'm gonna set this back over by the window. That's dry enough. Using that cold air kind of speeds it up a little bit, sort of like the polar opposite of what the heat does, but to the same degree of the same process. So if it dries it faster, but using the polar opposite of temperature to do it. Because once it dries, it's like solid as a rock. Holy shit, a 4-hour live stream of me making wands. Now that's, yeah. But yeah, I basically showed you how I make my wands. I'll let that wand and the vice clamp dry for a couple more hours before I Mod Podge it. And I may end up Mod Podging it in a separate video just so you guys get a visual, because this video is pretty fucking long. And yeah, you're quite welcome for the live stream. Yeah, I can do a podging the wand and like making the wand or finishing a wand, or whatever you want to call it, like a part tour, And the purple one's almost done drying completely. It's dry enough it can be handled without making a mess. I mean, it's dry enough that I could probably put it in the batch. But I'll leave it sitting by the windowsill so that it dries faster. Legit. I like seeing a wand batch come together very nicely indeed. Aww. I love chit-chatting with my fans, but chit-chat with my female fans is always fun. Wow. Yee-hoo. Man, that cigar roach tobacco is... That's some rough shit, but it gets the job done. Making like a Model T and cranking out them wands. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, okay, so after counting all the ones together, after making that one, I should have just one more plus the scepter, so ooh. That fucking handle was a pain in the ass to wrap. Sometimes the leather string doesn't wanna, you know. I mean, after the wand got done drying at this point, you don't have to Mod Podge it if you don't want to. If you're making a wand for yourself and you're tired of all the steps just to making one wand and you're satisfied with just the way it looks, yeah. But me personally, selling them on Etsy, that's practically, I call it a wand that's like 80 to 90% done. Because as soon as the glue and the paint are done drying, podge time, baby. Yeah. I mean, you literally saw me take a stick and then sculpt it into... You probably can't see the wand on the vice clamp in the dark lighting, but there's enough lighting in here that I can see the wand that I'm painting right now. And that's looking all lens aside sharp. So I'm a lot closer to finishing that batch than I was a week ago. And that's the reason why I have the trash can underneath the vice clamp when I paint wands. That way it drips paint into the trash can. Anyways, this is King Cobra JFS with a wand making ASMR live video. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you cool cobras on the next one.